Hey lovely people, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this simple dress that you're seeing on my thumbnails. It's a very beautiful dress and everyone would like to have it. On my table is a 6 yards of African print, which I'll be using to achieve this. But I will just be using 3 yards out of the 6 yards because it is a short dress and it is something that even a fat, the person I'm making it for is of a medium size. So even a fat person, 3.5 will be okay. If you're on the slimmer side, 2.5 is enough for you. And for the design that you're seeing on top of this other material that you're seeing, this other material is what I'll be using for the upper part of the dress. Thank you. Just sit through. Do not fast forward. Follow me step by step as I take you through this process. Before I go ahead, I would like to make an appeal. If you're seeing my channel for the first time, you are highly welcome. Kindly sit through. Do not fast forward. And I would also like you to do me a favor by hitting on the subscribe button, putting on your notification bell to always get notified whenever I post a new video. To my existing subscribers, you're not taking for granted. You can also do well by sharing my video and also engaging me on the comment section, dropping a comment so that we'll have an interactive session. Thank you. On my table is a pattern paper. I'm meant to draft this directly on the fabric, but because of the pattern that we have on top, I will have to draft on the pattern paper a half scale, that's shoulder to waist. So what I'll be doing now, remember the zipper is at the front. So I'm taking my shoulder to bust point, which I have just drawn at 10 inches. So I've drawn a line across it. So what will I be doing next? That's my zipper allowance. So on the shoulder area, I will take my shoulder to shoulder measurement, which is 17. Now 17 divided by 2 will give me 8.5. So I'll just mark 8.5 at that place, and then I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I will take my neck width at 4 inches. I like using 4 inches because it's freer. So I'll just draw from the shoulder slope to meet the neck width. Then from there, I'm going to come from my bust point by 2 inches to form my armhole depth. So what I'll be doing right now is to find take my bust circumference, which is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10. I'll mark it at that. Then I'll also mark it at the chest line. The armhole depth becomes the chest line automatically. So what I'll be doing next is to find the midpoint of my armhole. Just watch me as I do this. If you're practicing, you can go ahead and look at what I'm doing and do exactly that to get your armhole, the center of your armhole. So I'll just make a point there. And from the center that I have identified, I will come in by 0.5 inch. Then I'll use a ruler and connect the dots. So what I'll be doing next is to take my waist measurement, which is 38, and 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. I'll mark it on the waist, and on this I won't be giving any allowance for anything. So I'll just connect the dots that I've done. So what I'll be going ahead to do now is to take my neck depth. Being a V-neck, it depends on you. If you want your cleavages, as in your butt, to be revealing, but mine, I'll just go up from the bust point by 4 inches. Then I'll connect the line the way you see me do to form a V. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is to mark where the pattern, as in where we'll be joining the pattern. So on this line, what I have there between the V-neck and the bust point, I have 4 inches. So I'm going to be dividing by 2 inches. Depending on you, anything you have there, you can divide it by 2, or you take the larger part, depending on how you want it. Then I'll just use my curved ruler to connect it to the half of the armhole depth, which I have done. Then you can see I even use my free hand to make it to be curvier a bit. So what I'll be doing next now is to just go ahead and cut it out. Sorry guys, I forgot to make mention of the measurement of my shoulder to my waistline. Shoulder to my waistline is 19 inches. So that is what I took. That is the scale, half scale I took. So what I'll be doing is to place it on the material. On the material that I'll be using to sew the dress. Just the way you see me place it, that's the way I am going to be placing it. So what I'll be doing next is to take the full measurement of the dress I am making. The full measurement of the dress I'm making is 42 inches. So how will I be doing that? I will take the scale I've already cut out. You can see the way I placed it. You can go ahead and hold it down by a paper tape or something. But I'll just measure it from there. I'll measure it down and take my 42 inches. Then I'll mark it. After marking the 42 inches, I'm going to add 2 inches for hemming. Then I'll just make a line there. What I'll be doing next is to take my hip line, then from the waist to the hip line is just 7 inches apart, depending on how tall the client or the person you're making it for is. So I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 inches on the waistline. Okay, from the waistline, I'll be taking my hip line, which is 7 inches apart. I'll just mark it at that point, 7 inches. So I'll go ahead as well and just rule a line there. Then I will take my hip circumference, which is 40, and 40 divided by 4 will give me 10 inches. I'll go ahead and mark 10 inches, then add 2 inches sewing allowance. Please, you can go ahead and rule a line to identify the zip allowance area so that you wouldn't make the mistake of measuring from the edge, from the fold of the dress, so that you wouldn't miss the zip allowance area. So I'll go ahead now and take my 2 inches by the side because I did not add any sewing allowance before. What I'll do is to use my ruler and connect all the dots. And from the hip, you find out I just did a straight line because this is not a straight skirt. This is not a straight dress. So I just did it. And then I added half inch on top to join the pattern. Then I'll be going ahead as well to cut the pattern on the other pattern I'll be using. So I'll just go ahead and just place it there with a pin and then cut it out. And remember, from the place I'll be joining on the other clothes, on the other material, I'd gone ahead to add half inch apart. So what I'm doing now is to cut a facing. You can see the way I just cut the facing. So I'll just go ahead and pin it and set it aside. Then we'll go ahead now to cut the back of the dress. So I'm going to measure it in full. The zipper this time around is not at the back. So I will just measure I will take my measurement from shoulder to bust, which is 10, and to the waist, which is 19, then to the hips, which is 26, and then I will take the full length at 44, and then I'll add 2 inches hemming allowance. Just watch me as I do this. After I'm done with that, I'll take my shoulder to shoulder measurement at 18.5. Then I'll come down for my shoulder slope by 1 inch. I will take my neck width at 4 inches and neck depth at 1.5. This is the back neckline. Then I will use my free hand and connect. And then use my roller to connect from the slope to the armhole depth. I'll come up by 2 inches from the waist, from the bust point to form my armhole depth. Then I'll connect with my ruler. I'll go ahead on the bust point. I'll take the circumference of my bust, which is 10. Then I'll also mark it at the chest line as well. Then I'll just do a connection. This time around, because this is the back armhole, I don't need to go in by half an inch at the center of the armhole. So I'll just use my free hand and make a curve there to form my armhole depth. Alright, I've already taken the circumference of my bust at 10. So what I'll be doing now is to add the 2 inches allowance. So I'll just go ahead and add 2 inches allowance and I'll mark it there. So I'm going to go down to the hip line and take my my waistline, sorry, which is 38 divided by 4, 9.5. Then I'll add my 2 inches sewing allowance. On the hip line, I'm going to take my hip measurement, which is 40 divided by 4, 10 inches. Then I'll go ahead and add 2 inches sewing allowance. So right now, I'm going to use the ruler and connect all the dots. And from the hip line, I'll just connect it straight down. And that will be all for the back. I'll just go ahead and cut it out. All right, our cutout is ready. We are finished with the drafting. So we'll be going ahead to do the joining. Go ahead to do the sewing. So in this place, you have to pay attention. Remember when I was cutting the pattern, I added 1/2 inch by this side I am pinning down. And also on the main material, I added 1/2 inch to enable me join this by 1/2 inch. So I'll go ahead and join it on my machine by 1/2 inch. So when you're cutting your own, be mindful. I didn't add any sewing allowance to the pattern I cut, but when I was cutting it directly on the fabric, I added 1/2 inch for the joining. So you can see what I've done. I have already pinned it down, the 2. So I'll be going ahead. After I am done joining it, then I'll go ahead and also stitch the facing down on the neck area. So this is what I'll be doing on my machine once I get there. So lovely, if you had followed me to this point, please don't forget to hit on the like button. Drop your comment on the comment section. Let's interact and know where you want me to work on next time. So I am done with the facing at the back. Look at it, how neat it is looking. I've gone ahead to even use my hemming gum to hold it down. I've also done the same thing to the front. I've fixed the material, then I've gone ahead to iron it down, and as well I'm done with the facing. It is looking very neat right now. So what I'll be doing next at this stage, remember that the one we are copying has a black design at the front, and that black design, what they use in achieving it is black velvet. It's velvet bias, that's what they call it, but the black type, that's what they use. So when you get to the market, you ask them of velvet bias. That is if you're making exactly this pattern. So I'll go ahead, the way you're seeing me arranging the velvet bias, I'll go ahead and arrange it. Then I'll cut exactly what I'll be using for that design. I'll cut it in 2 because I'll be doing it to the 2 sides. So what I'll do now is to go ahead and in my machine, I will just sew it, arrange it the way it will cover up the place I joined. In between the main fabric and the design up, I'll be placing the velvet bias there. Then I will sew it neatly at the edge. At the 2 edge, I'll be sewing it on both sides, 2 edge. So I'll be sewing it. So once I'm done with sewing it, I'll bring it. You can see how I am done joining it. I'm done with that. You can see how neat it is looking and how okay it has made the clothes look a little different and beautiful. So what I'll be doing now is to join the shoulder, and on this shoulder I'll be doing a French finishing because one, the cloth does not have a lining that I will use to turn the shoulder the way I used to do it before. So what I'll be doing now is that I'm going to do it wrong side, facing wrong side, and I will stitch on the right side first by 0.25 inches. Look at the way, right side, wrong side, facing wrong side, and I will stitch on the right side by 0.25 inches. This time around, I'm not stitching at the right side, at the wrong side. I am stitching at the right side. So once I'm done with that, I am going to bring it. Okay, look at what I mean. You can see what I have done. This is the right side, and that is where I did my stitches. 0.5 inches, very tiny. So I'm going to turn it at the wrong side now. And then I'll go ahead on the machine again and hold it by the same 0.25 inches. This time around at the wrong side. The other time it was at the right side. Now I am making it at the wrong side. So this will make it to look very neat. Very, very neat. It is another way of joining the shoulder. And it will look very neat without weaving it, without turning it with the lining. I always do this when I don't have a lining to turn the shoulder weight. So that is what I do. So when I'm done joining it, I'll bring it so that we'll see what we have done. All right, here we go. It is very neat, inside out. Look at it. You won't even notice. Look at it inside, then look at the outer part of it. It is looking very neat. So we are done with the shoulder right now. So the next thing I'll be going ahead to do right now is to join the sleeve. So if there's any excess hanging around the sleeve area, I'm going to be trimming it out. So you can go ahead and trim it out. It's not a mistake or anything. Just go ahead and trim it out if the sleeve does not align together. So we'll go ahead and fix our sleeve. Our sleeve is a short sleeve and I've already gone ahead to cut it and hem it. If you don't know how to cut a sleeve, I have a link. I have a video I made on that, so I'll be dropping the link on the description section of this video, so you can go ahead and click it and cut your sleeve. So I'll just make sure I have the midpoint of the sleeve and then align it with where I joined the shoulder, and I will go ahead and join it on my machine by 1/2 inch. All right, I'm done with that. I'm done joining the sleeve. So what we'll be going ahead right now to do is to join the two sides. Once you're done with cutting this dress, the joining is very, very easy because you don't have a lining. It's joining straight. So I'm going to go ahead and join it from the sleeve. I'm going to be joining it. Remember, we gave an allowance of 2 inches. So I'll be using the whole 2 inches to join it. So what I'll be doing now, because this dress has a pet, so I'll be measuring from the shoulder to the waist, which is at 19 inches. I'll mark there. Then I will now make from the point I have made, I'll just come down by 7 inches, which is going to be the opening of the pocket, for the pocket. So I will just, once I stitch from the shoulder to the waist where I identified, I will stop there, and then I will continue from the other end, from the place I marked at 7, I'll take it down. I'll be doing the same thing at the other side of the dress as well, because it's going to be 2 pockets. They're going to have 2 pockets at both sides. So once I'm done, I'll bring it so that we'll see. I'm also going to go ahead and hem it. Remember, I gave a hemming allowance of 2 inches. Yeah, so we are done joining the 2 sides. You can see it. You can see what I have gone ahead to do. We are done with the sides. I'm also done with the hemming. You can see it. And I am also done joining the pockets as well. So the next thing we are going to be doing right now is to attach the zipper. And the zipper is longer than the dress itself. The zipper is 40, and because the zipper will stop at the neck area, so I'm going to start from the down and fix the zipper, so that if I want to cut out, I'm going to cut out from the up, not from the down. So once I'm done joining the zipper of the dress, we are done with the dress. So the next time you'll be seeing this dress is going to be on the mannequin. So you can see, once I'm done with that, you'll see what we have done. So guys, I love you guys for sitting up to this point. If you had been with me from the beginning to this point, kudos to you guys. Kudos, I love you. Do not forget to hit on the like button. And do not forget to leave your comment on the comment section. And please, if you are a new subscriber, do not forget to hit on the subscribe button and put on your notification bell to always get notified whenever I post a new video. See you in my next. Bye.